Chapter 2. Everything comes from nothing. Zilch Nada and the calling ourselves as Null are figments of my imagination. You do not need to legally change your name to Null, nor pray to Zilch and Nada to get special insights from their perspective, because they wouldn't give you a reward or reply to you in any meaningful way. They quite literally non-exist, I can assure you. The closest thing we can worship as a real god is the power expressed from the absolute vacuum, the very real vacuum energy that results from as close to nothing as we can muster. So if you ask me, I would say that no thing is God, as well as nothing is God. Nothing holds a lot of the same attributes commonly given to God. Nothing is capable of being everywhere and nowhere, making it omnipresent. When nothing is divided by itself, in the form of 0 divided by 0, it is powerful enough to make a full set of everything, making it omnipotent. Nothing lasts forever, making it omnitemporal and eternal. And if you see Gödel's incompleteness theorem as an accurate conjecture of reality, no thing is capable of knowing everything about any proposed system of real things, which makes it omniscient.
Bow before the almighty nothing. If you really want to pray to Lord Zilch and Lordess Nada, they will surely reply and listen to you. If you want to ask the Lords of Nothingness any yes or no questions, they should go to our Lord Zilch. He will graciously respond to your request with a hearty Zilch, Zilch, so that your request both will and will not occur somewhere in the multiverse. The odds of you getting what you want may be only 50-50 from your perspective, but that is better than the certainty that comes with a definitive yes or no. He wants to keep his final answer a surprise. Let the power of Zilch encourage you to go your own way, and help you strive to reach your desires. Open-ended prayer should go to our Lordess Nada. She will surely respond with a, "Are you seriously asking me the stupid question?" look on her glorious non-existent face, and answer with a resounding, "Nada." You are free to interpret her nada to mean whatever you want it to. Just don't get angry with her when you misrepresent what her nada means. Her ways are higher than your ways. You might provoke her to give you a stern talking to in her own native language. Nada, 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 nada.
Worthless prayers aside, I have failed thus far to adequately explain how precisely everything can be derived from nothing. Most rational beings would dismiss this conjecture without further thought, since in fact, nothing comes from nothing. And something comes from something else. However, I must rebut even this obvious notion, because it boldly and unwittingly assumes that we nulls are entities of something. I am here to challenge that notion as a logician, but it will take the rest of this chapter to flesh out. There is in fact a mathematical basis from which we can equate everything finite to nothing, when nothing is divided amongst itself. The shagging of Zilch Nada hinted at this idea in the previous chapter. Here is a key excerpt from the final chapter to introduce this math logic. Anything and everything quantitative and finite, which I symbolize as two infinity symbols making an X as shown here, can be multiplied by this 0 and leave us with 0. Everything times 0 equals 0. Note that everything is both finite and a range, not a determinate number. The point here is that we can put any determinate number in place of the symbol, and it will be true in the equation, which is why I named this symbol as everything. And we can also put everything in the denominator of the following equation using the division property of equivalence. 0 divided by everything equals 0. Even 0 the finite, which is the only 0 type in everything. Therefore, if we accept the premises of the previous equations, we should likewise accept the following equation as well, if we also temporarily disregard the rule of you cannot divide by 0. 0 divided by 0 equals everything. When the 0 in the denominator is infinite, everything becomes the answer. I will go into the idea of an infinite 0 in chapter 3 for any normies who are curious.
But for now, thanks to this equation, I can tell you of this special and secret insight into the one true and ultimate origin of the multiverse. You are something. No, wait. That is not the secret. The secret is that you, as a finite entity, can designate yourself as a finite number. Just like the Lords of Nothingness. Give yourself any known number of somethingness, and you would be an acceptable and inevitable answer to the equation designated at the beginning of the set of everything. You are not highly improbable, You are inevitable! This exalted equation also tells us another, less interesting, special, and secret insight into your nature. You are nothing!
Unfortunately, that is in fact the secret. There is everything on one side of the equation, and nothing on the other side. Everything is nothing. We are all null. So what holds the multiverse together? Nothing. Zilch Nada are doing an amazing job, aren't they? And where exactly are these other universes that are parallel to ours? The same place where we are. Nowhere.
Blasphemous Sardis have incorrectly placed these other universes far away from our own. The fools!
How inefficient do they think Zilch Nada are? They are super simple on how to do things.
All timelines to other universes are stacked right on top of ours and are capable of splitting from our own every plague second, where only one of those infinite possible timelines are observed by us.
Rewording this last sentence, I'd actually say that most likely other timelines in the multiverse are stacked on top of ours and split the timelines right here, wherever here is, at every meaningful opportunity, where some unknown function of causality only allows one objective timeline to be the one that we live out and observe. If nothing was likened to an egg and everything was likened to a chicken, the universe, and by proxy the multiverse, would teach us that the egg certainly came before the chicken. Like how this question of which came first is solved by biologists, the egg may have come from a creature that we would consider a non-chicken or a proto-chicken. Then by random mutations of evolution, the first chicken emerges from the egg laid by the non-chicken. In the case of the multiverse chicken, however, the properties of the egg from which it emerged from is completely unknowable. All we can know is that there is a single universe chicken that we are an infinitesimal part of, that we can observe and make predictions about the rest of the universe and the multiverse chicken's behavior. If we were to adequately phrase the null hypothesis for the nature of the one true origin of everything to place alongside other hypotheses, it would look approximately like this. Everything comes from nothing, or nothing was the first cause of everything, or nothing caused everything, including your existence.
When you think to yourself, when you think, I exist, what do you think this I is made up of?
Psychologically, I am made up of my thoughts.
Ah, but what are the thoughts made out of?
Biologically, I am made up of cells. Trillions of cells, including the dendritic cells that make up the thought processes in my brain.
Yes, but what are the cells made out of?
Chemically, I am made up of complex carbon chains and other molecules, and these are made up of atoms, and these are made up of quarks and fermions.
Fundamentally, but what are the quarks and fermions made of? What are the fundamental particles of somethingness that make up reality? Nothing. Eventually, once you break things down far enough, there will be some fundamental somethingness that cannot be broken down any further. This fundamental somethingness will be made out of nothing, if the null hypothesis is correct. Therefore, whatever you consider this I to be is not.
But this contradicts the opening premise. I could not come to this conclusion about not existing without existing to formulate the thoughts in the first place. But I exist. And you don't exist, Noel. I know, it's a conundrum.